Welcome to the MLM Solution Podcast Show, where you'll learn the facts and hear the truth about the network marketing industry. Here's your host, Rob Coody.
Hello, Miss Marie. How are you this morning?
Good morning, Rob. I am doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing very well. Thank you very much. Today is Thursday, September 24th, guys. And we are tickled pink to be here. And I think I made a boo-boo and I need to correct it. Let's see here.
Uh-oh. Was it you or was it our producer again?
It's our producer. That's what it is. It's our producer.
Maybe need to have a conversation with that guy, huh?
Yes. I tell you what, man, oh man.
Well, with everything we have going on here, there's a lot of balls in the air, a lot of plates spinning, and all the running back and forth we're doing and the things we need to do to get ready every day to be on here. Hey, at least we make it on time, 11 a.m. Eastern time each weekday morning. Here we are bringing value to the network marketing industry, right?
And I just corrected the boo-boo anyway. It was on the ticker, guys. I did everything but update the ticker. And oh well. Anyway, ticker is saying podcast number 49 today is how to be the leader that your downline deserves and needs. And we're going to be talking about that today because it's not just being a leader. We're going to, as you know, we typically dive deep into these subject matters only if it's relevant to your success. And we're going to do that today. And that title is a little misleading because here's the reason why. When we say the word leader, people have these images that come to their head of what a leader is. Oh, it's just somebody that leads other people. Yes, in a short definition, that would be correct. But in the network marketing business model, there's a lot more going on about being a leader that your downline needs than just imagining leading people. Okay, and there's certain traits that you need to have. And unfortunately, as a leader in this industry, you have to wear many hats. And if you don't know what those hats are, and if you don't know how to wear those hats effectively, then guess what? You're going to be in a world of hurt. I know we always say that, Miss Marie, but unfortunately, everything in network marketing is intricately connected. And if you don't have to master them, but you at least have to be aware of them and understand the potential problems that come out of these things if you don't do them correctly. Even halfway is better than no way. Okay, so what we try to do is give you a quick overview of some of these really important subjects. And as you listen, it will become self-evident to yourself why we have this particular subject today. So stick around to find out how to become that leader that your downline desperately needs. And I have stories about that. I'm sure Miss Marie does too, where we can prove to you how important this subject is. So with that being said, Miss Marie, let's get our show started with our famous old gong gong. There we go. Okay, once again, today is September 24th. It's currently 11:03 a.m. We got an early start today. We may finish early today.
Well, I don't know that we got an early start. I think we're getting right into it because we're kind of excited about the topic, right?
Well, we are excited about the topic, no doubt about it. But at the same time, as you have always, Miss Marie has always been pushing me, Rob, we got to make them shorter. We got to make them shorter. And I know she's right. But as you know, I am a motor mouth Rob, and I love getting into detail and teaching. And sometimes I go too deep, too far. And Miss Marie tries to reel me in. Thank her for that. And that's a tough task, as the wife will tell you, because I love to teach. It's not that I like to be a motor mouth, Miss Marie. I love to teach. And sometimes I get so wrapped up in teaching and wanting to help people. And I say that all the time, how much I love people and how much I love helping them, that I want to share my knowledge. And sometimes it's too much.
Well, and sometimes that's the great value that we bring here. You never know which episode we're going to hit during the week where Rob's going to do that deep dive where if you were trying to get that information anywhere else, There's no way you'd find it for free on a podcast, on a video like we've got going here. So we appreciate that value, Rob, and I know our audience does too. So we'll let you run your mouth for a while, no problem.
Well, I appreciate that. That's awful nice. You covered for me there, just in case you guys didn't know. But no, it's great to have a sidekick like that. And I know that there's value in that. And I know there's people out there that truly enjoy having that value. But to be honest with you, Miss Marie, I was doing a lot of soul searching last night, not as an individual, but business-wise and this and that. And, you know, every business has to turn a page. You have to keep moving forward. And, you know, I've made some notes last night and was reviewing in my mind and going to our YouTube channel and reviewing some of the videos and stuff. And it's obvious some changes need to be made. But guess what? That's progression. That's growth. That's the maturation process. And so it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. You know, it's something to embrace. It's something you say, okay, we need to make some changes here. So the thing is that there won't be as many deep dives. Okay. And the thing is, we do give you guys so many gold nuggets and so many deep dives. And she nailed it. You're not going to learn that stuff anyplace else. Okay. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Some of the stuff that we're sharing with you guys is members only area stuff, to be honest with you. And I'm sure Ms. Marie, if she had a stick long enough, she'd be tapping me on the head. Stop doing that. You know, you're giving away all the stuff. And I tend to get, like I said, wound up and really like helping you guys out. So the point is, jump on those videos while you can. Ms. Marie, we may in fact be moving our videos to another platform. There's a new platform, video platform that Dan Bongino has become a part of. And I've been looking for another home, Venmo and other places, or Vimeo, however you say it.
Vimeo.
Is it Vimeo?
I think it's Vimeo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Venmo's a cash application.
It is.
Vimeo's the video.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. Because I know about that Vimeo, but I don't even know how to spell it. I just vaguely remember seeing it, and I know it's out there. And from what I understand, it's pretty popular. Now, this is not an official announcement. I'm doing some research and looking at doing some things. Miss Marie, it doesn't matter where our videos are. As we continue to evolve this and hire people, there's going to be a lot of massive changes when it comes to videos. I'd like to control our content instead of having it on another platform and, you know, drive people to that platform. Because, you know, it doesn't matter where the videos are, right? If you're going to tell them where it is, right?
Yeah, as long as folks can access it when you want them to.
Go.
That's the important part. And part of what we're doing along the way here, of course, is constant process improvement. We're always trying to get just a little bit better every day, right? We did it in our network marketing businesses. We're doing it now. We do it in, I mean, I guess I can't necessarily speak for you, but I assume you're similar to me in most aspects of our lives. We're constantly trying to grow and improve, and it can be small little incremental steps that may not always be visible, but makes a difference. Yes,
you nailed it. I do not like looking back. I do not like living in the past. I'm not one of those guys that sit at the bar and talks about what I did way back then. It's hard for me. I don't even like receiving awards going across stage because I don't feel like I did anything special. But I do appreciate that others feel that I have, and I respect that viewpoint, and I accept it, and I do so humbly, and I mean that sincerely because, you know, when I get an award, I just feel like, okay, I was just doing my job. I really didn't do anything outstanding. But other people do appreciate what I did. And I had someone smarter than me say, Rob, you hurt people's feelings when you do not accept their applause or their rewards or their congratulations. And I said, you know, I can see that because they're going out of their way to put together this event, to put together this award, and you don't seem appreciative. And I said, well, no, number one, I'm kind of humble and kind of quiet, and I don't know what to say in those moments. And they said, well, you better change. So that was one of my big changes, Miss Marie, was being receptive to those rewards because it makes me feel uncomfortable.
Well, I can appreciate that. I'm kind of the same way. I don't want to hear about it. And I apologize if I'm a little distracted here, but I just had a spider run across my
Oh,
keyboard.
no, that's not good. Take care of that spider. I totally get that. All right.
At least I didn't let out a high-pitched scream or anything like that. We're good.
Yeah. And that brings up a story, but I won't do it. About my grandkids. I'll tell them another day about a spider. Oh my gosh, it was so funny but scary at the same time.
Oh
All right. With that being said, we're going to get started with our podcast show, How to Be a Leader for Your Downline, one that they need, one that they will respect. And let's get past what we just talked about a minute ago. Get rid of those images of what you think a leader is, because in the network marketing business model, it's going to be vastly different. Okay. And here's why. In the network marketing business model, you got to have multiple hats as a leader. You got to have ball-bearing hips. You got to go from one thing, in other words, a relationship monitor, if you will, or moderator, whatever the case may be. In other words, you have a conflict between two of your downline big shots, whatever. You're trying to keep them both. You don't want to lose either one of them. That's one scenario. Being a leader by setting the example, in other words, doing more than 100 PV per month, doing 150, 200 or more. Okay, that's being a leader, setting an example. Also setting the leader as an example is to have an exemplary life. Okay, it doesn't mean you have to be perfect. It just means that you're not being arrested and thrown into jail for various issues. Okay, that's what that means. That's not really an example that you want to set, that you're someone that's got all this money and now you're out of control. Okay, you don't want to be arrested for drugs, obviously, and embezzlement or anything, crazy over the top stuff. Leaders don't do that stuff. Okay, you don't gossip. You don't say, well, Marie, she's a pain in the butt, man. She's calling me all the time, and you're saying this to your other leaders. Guess what? That's not being a leader. Okay, if you're a gossiper, you're going to have to get over that. Okay, and you've got to change as a person, and that's where the Og Mandinos and the Jim Rohn, Zig Ziglars, and the other people that Miss Marie and I talk about become so important, because they will help you understand that being that leader, setting that example, guys, it brings so much money to you. Do you realize that when you develop a brand about yourself and you conduct yourself accordingly, does not mean you have to be perfect. You're a human. That's not what we're saying. Do you realize how much money that's worth? Do you realize how many people will come from out of the woodwork to want to be a part of your organization or to buy your products or to be a part of whatever it is you're doing? Okay? Because guess what? People automatically, when they see you have success, whether you like it or not, they're going to put you on a pedestal. In their mind, you're above them. And because you have done, they know the sacrifices need to be made in order to succeed just about anything in life. People respect that. People honor that. People say, wow, that's really cool. And they put you on a pedestal, whether you like it or not. That's just the way it is. Okay. And they expect, whether this is fair or not, a certain behavior. Okay. Because you're on that pedestal. You don't cuss like a drunken sailor. You're not out there doing drugs and drinking until wee hours of the morning and getting arrested. You're not out there causing havoc in society and things like that. Successful people do not follow people like that. I'm telling you. Okay. You can look at what happens in the entertainment industry and the sports world and things like this. And these people that other people admire for whatever reason do something silly or stupid. And all of a sudden, almost overnight, their support and their fans and everybody is deserted them. Okay. Why? Because they hold them to a higher standard. I might be able to do that and nobody say anything, but don't let Joe Blow, who's in movies, do that, or Sally Mae, who is a sports figure, do that, because if they do, people are going to be very critical. People are really good at being critical of someone else, even though they don't hold themselves to those same standards. Okay. So as a leader in this industry, you're going to fall in that same category. You may not be as famous, but to them, you are. I'm going to tell you that right now. There's no way you're going to be the perfect leader for everyone. You have to be who you are and develop even more traits becoming that leader. So those are some of the groundwork, let's say, not ideas, but characteristics. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. That you need to have as a leader in this industry. That's just the basics right there. Okay.
Right. And to set the framework a little bit, we need to make a little bit of a mental shift. The average person coming into the network marketing industry, or somebody who's new, when you say the term leader, they typically think of it in the usual corporate hierarchy sense, right? You have the leaders in your typical businesses, whether it's a restaurant, a franchise, a manufacturing company, where it's kind of a top-down structure where somebody's responsible for making decisions, providing direction, and it's expected that that will be followed by the people because there's financial payment tied to that, right, in terms of their salary and that type of thing. Now, with the network marketing structure, of course, that's different because every individual in your organization is their own business owner. You do not control their income. You cannot just set out directives and lead by telling them to do things necessarily. You can certainly, you want to give them instruction, you want to give them guidance, mentorship, those types of things, but it can't be like a dictator just bringing forth an edict and expecting people to follow that, right?
Right.
So that's where being a leader in this industry takes on a whole different meaning. There's much more involved to it than there is in the typical corporate structure. And you do have to go into it with that mindset that there's more to it than just telling people what to do.
Yes, exactly. As a matter of fact, in this industry, you're going to have to learn to bite your tongue because we say all the time, you're not the boss. You can't tell people what to do. What you do is you become a teacher. And one way you become a teacher is by leading by example. And if you want to be a leader in this industry, leading by example is the best way. And you say, well, Rob, what does that mean? Leading by example means this, guys, means that you're going to, like I said, be doing 150, 200 PV. A leader should do at least that. That's 50 to 100% more than the threshold of profitability number of 100. That's the minimum you should do. You should continue to build your business, okay? Being efficient, being effective, using the system. If you're not using the system, and if you think you're going to be cheating the system and cutting corners because nobody's going to see it, I'm going to tell you, I don't know why it is. I've said it before. I'll say it till the day I take my last breath. It's true. Miss Marie has lived it. Here's the bottom line. You may think that you're in a closet and nobody can see you in network marketing somehow, some way. Your downline finds out that you're not doing something. I don't know how it works. I don't know. People pick up on it right away, Miss Marie, especially when you get around them at an event. And you can be embarrassed really quick. You could lose a lot of top people because you're saying, oh, yeah, I'm doing 150 pre-V per month. Well, there's no way that anybody is at your house when you get your order. There's no way that they're getting into your checking account to see if you, in fact, you are spending whatever amount it is that creates that 150 PV. Okay. Nobody can see that taking place. But guess what? Somehow your downline will figure it out. Don't know. You say, oh, yeah, I sponsored 10 people last month. Okay. Believe it or not, if you only sponsored 8 and you said you got 10 because you wanted to show them that you're really cranking it, even though you had a down month for some reason, guess what? They're going to find out. And when they do, they're going to say, he's a liar. I cannot trust him. He's cutting corners. There's a reason for that. I don't know what's going on, but I am not going to follow somebody that's telling me one thing and doing another. Okay, because they've been promoting the whole time how important it is not to cut corners, to make sure that we do the steps correctly in sequential order. Do not cut corners. If you do, it's going to affect your business. And now I find out that Rob's cutting corners, that Rob's lying to us, that he's not doing 100 PV or 150 PV. He didn't sponsor 10 people, he only sponsored 8. And they're going to find these things out. And guess what? My credibility is shot. Okay. And you're not going to get it back. That's the bottom line. Those people are gone, whether they quit on their own and just walk away from their own business, or if they take their business, go someplace else, guys, it will happen. Okay. So the bottom line is the only thing you can control is yourself. And as a leader in this industry, you have to be building your business until you reach the income level, which you should profess with your mouth to your downline. Okay, when I signed Marie up, Marie says, well, Rob, what's your goals? I'm going to profess what those goals are. If I have no intentions of shooting for those goals, I do not need to tell her that. Okay, I can say simply, I'm just wanting to meet my 90-day goals right now. Okay, I don't know what my ultimate goal is at this moment, which is silly to say because you should, but what I'm doing here is showing you that you do not want to commit to a big grand picture. If you know in your heart you're not going to pursue that, okay, you're setting yourself up for failure. Okay, so the thing is, keep things simple, keep things humble, and do what you say you're going to do. If you do that, you're going to be on a good path to success. And if you don't cut corners and you do what you're supposed to do, and remember, you're just doing 5 simple steps over and over and over. That's all you're doing. Okay, so it's not hard to do the right thing. All right. And if you only sponsor 8 people, just say, I don't know why this month I only sponsored 8 people, but what you can show them, because you can pull out a sheet of paper and whatever the case may be, however you keep score, you can say, look, I talked to 50 people, and for whatever reason, I only sponsored 8. Okay. Now that should tell you something. Either the music to the ears message is wrong, or you're not doing 5 and above on the scale of ambition. I mean, there's the 2 areas of problems if you only sponsored 8 people out of 50. I'll tell you that right now. Okay. And you shouldn't go through 50 people and only get 8. If you go through 20 people and only get 8, you better start, your ears better perk up. You better start looking in the mirror because something's wrong. All right. But that's another story. But the thing is that you have to set the example until you reach the goals that you have stated. If you do have big goals beyond your 90 days, and you need to verbalize that, not only to hold yourself accountable, but to also have your downline hold you accountable, so that you will in fact work towards those goals, and you will be the leader. Because people are Marie's going to say, look, Rob's working his tail end off. He's really going after those goals. Okay. When they see me complete my 90-day mini blast, okay, and they see me working with leaders, and Marie's one of those, what does that do? That reinforces to her that he's following phase 1 and phase 2. He's now in phase 2. He's really doing it. He's on his way. I don't even have to mention the money I'm making. I don't have to show her a check, which is illegal, as we talked about. But here's the thing. She's going to say, I know that he's in phase 2. He's working with his leaders. I know what that means. I know what phase that means he's in. I know what status his business is basically in. He's now setting that foundation for his business to take off. See, she can understand that. And guess what? My actions, not my words, my actions are reinforcing my leadership role by doing what? What I'm supposed to be doing. And that is building my business towards my goals and dreams. Guys, if you keep it that simple, you will be that leader. We'll talk about the management side of it here in a moment. Ms. Marie, you got anything to add to that?
Well, I was just going to say, honesty, integrity, authenticity, like any aspect of your life, it's just as important here in network marketing. Yeah. You don't want to be even thinking about the little white lies, because that's how you get caught in those instances of you didn't make as much as you have been telling people you have. Because once you start with those little white lies or trying to make yourself sound better or bigger than you actually are, you need to keep track of all those and who you said what to, and you're just it's gonna burn your butt. So
it's going to burn on your butt.
Don't do it. I mean, just
it's gonna get real hot.
Exactly. You just want to have a business based on integrity and authenticity that's going to attract other people to you, and that is going to build you as a leader.
That's right. And Miss Marie, one of the things going to embarrass the crap out of you. You go to a corporate event. Other leaders are there. Other leaders are aware of Marie and Rob's results, because leaders kind of talk to leaders, and we kind of get to know each other. Guess what happens when you're at an event and some of your downline overhears one of these leaders talking about, man, Rob's really sandbagging it, isn't he? What in the world's going on over there? Oh man, he's going to end up losing his business if he's not careful. Without knowing, prying ears are listening, and these ears belong to some of Rob's downline. How quickly do you think that's going to permeate throughout my business?
Exactly. You just want to avoid that altogether.
That's right.
It shouldn't even be an issue, right?
That's right. Exactly. And if somebody spreads a rumor, which there are vicious people out there, and I can't say that I've witnessed it, but I've heard, and I'm not going to say it's truth because you know how rumors are. I don't like talking rumors, but I've heard of people that had spread rumors that, you know, so-and-so leader was having an affair, so-and-so leader wasn't doing this or wasn't doing that. And they had to prove to their downline. I would immediately call a conference call with the other leaders and provide documentation or whatever proof they had saying this is a flat out lie. And matter of fact, I'm thinking about filing a lawsuit against those individuals. And so the bottom line is that you don't want to be in that position, but you can't protect yourself against a vicious person. But if you're doing the right thing, as Miss Marie stated, if you're doing the business in an honest and ethical way and you're being active, guys, that takes care of 98% of any potential problems that may pop up, okay? Because the proof is in the pudding. You're either doing it or you're not, okay? And if you're doing it, you can print out your back office data sheet and you can send it out, email, whatever, to all your downline and say, look, rumors out there that this is, you know, and of course that I'll have a time date stamp on it, and people can see for themselves that Rob sponsored 20 people this month, not 8. Okay, the proof is in the back office. Okay, so if you're being active and you're doing the things despite there's some rumors being spread around, you have backup because facts will what? Back up your activity. So that is part of the leadership. The basics of the leadership role that you're going to have in network marketing is just like she said, be honest, be ethical, and be active until you reach your goals. If you're not sure what your goals are, and once again, if you don't, you're in big trouble. And I do mean your ultimate goals. You have to put down clearly and concisely on a sheet of paper. You may not want to make it public to everybody else, but you have to know why you're doing this business. We talked about that. And to be honest with you, your 90-day goal sheet should not be your why. There should be an ultimate why. Okay, whether you have a medical issue in your family that needs attention and needs the money, or whether you want your freedom, whatever the case may be, you have to have that ultimate why. Okay, but we're not going to go there because we already had an episode on that. But it does relate to this subject matter because as a leader, I want to tell Marie, when Marie says, Rob, I'm going to join you, and you know, it's obvious you know what you're doing and whatever this and that. And if I may, because you already asked me what I want out of this business. Rob, what are you shooting for? Because folks, there are people that are going to ask you that question. There's no doubt about it. Whether they do it on the first follow-up call or if they do it on a subsequent call, or whether they do it at an event or a Zoom meeting, whatever, somebody's going to put you on the spot and say, wow, Rob, why are you building this business? What is your burn? You know, and you better have an answer, a real answer. Why? Because there again, you're setting the leadership role. And you say, well, how is something that simple part of leadership? If you have a clear, concise, ultimate vision that you can verbalize to your people, what do you think that's going to do for them? They're going to duplicate the process. They're going to see the importance, and they're going to say, wow, he's a real leader, man. He's really got his act together. He really is focused. He really knows what he's going after. You know what? Maybe I ought to do the same. You know, I was kind of putting it off, but maybe I need to do the same thing. What do you think that's doing? That's really solidifying Marie's commitment to her own dreams. And is that not what a leader does? Is set the example? Well, sure. See, these small little things that most people would never talk about, Miss Marie, are so important in setting the example in the network marketing industry. I talked to someone yesterday, Miss Marie, and you and I talked about it. Obviously, I'm not going to mention any names. And we had the same discussion that you and I had the other day about upline leadership. And I'm not going to go into it, but it wasn't good. So what does that tell you? That leaders aren't really leaders.
Right? Well, and the key thing you want to be doing as a leader is really following the system that you're teaching your people. You're leading by example, by following the system and continuing to reinforce those same steps to your downline, to your team. You want that duplication to take place. So when the questions come up, or you notice somebody trying to go off on a tangent and pursue one of those shiny objects that maybe they caught, you know, you want to reel them back in. Again, you can't just flat out tell them, because they may or may not listen to you, but you can tell them, hey, listen, this is the system that we follow. Here are the results that people on our team are getting with this system. You want to follow this system. If you go off and you pursue that little shiny object, you're going to fall behind. You're going to start getting frustrated. You're going to wonder if this business is right for you, if you're right for the business, et cetera, et cetera. So you want to keep reinforcing the same steps, the same system that you're following. I think that's one of the biggest keys as a leader in the network marketing industry.
Yeah, yeah. And, not only that, you have a situation where, as a leader in this industry, if you in any way, how can I say, if you think that you can half step being a leader, and I don't mean the subject matter we're talking about, I'm not talking about, in other words, not doing 100 PV per month. I'm not talking about all the other little things that you would hide from your downline as an individual leader. But here's the thing, guys. If you're going to half step being a leader in this industry, then you're going to get half the results, maybe even not even that. All you're doing is sabotaging yourself. Okay. The reason I bring it up, Miss Marie, because there's some people that get success out of the gate. 3 months in, 4 months in, they're rocking it. And they think, I got this made. I don't have to work hard anymore. Okay. And, you said, well, Rob, you talked about the Richard Call model where he only worked 3 or 6 months. I can't remember the exact time frame. And you're right. You're absolutely right. But you have to remember the rest of the story that I told. But don't remember just that short little snippet and use it. The rest of the story is he stopped because his wife got cancer. He didn't stop because he had reached his goals that he had set for himself. He was still working, Miss Marie, 20 hours out of the day. I mean, that's what he told us, 18, 20 hours out of the day. No matter what time he went to bed, he got up at 6 o'clock the next day and started. The only reason he stopped is because of his wife. Okay. And the only reason it turned out the way it did is because of his massive commitment and action that he took. He did not know. There was no way that anybody could have looked him in the eye and said, Richard, you've done everything, stop. This is all you need to do. It just worked out that way. Okay. And unfortunately, his wife passed months later, and he looked at his business. He said, there's no reason to go back. I can't add any real value monetarily to what I've already put together. That's the only reason why he didn't go back. It wasn't because he was lazy. Okay. You never question that about Richard Call. It was because when he looked at the comp plan, he looked at what he put together. He said, there's no sense in sponsoring more people. I can't make any more money. I'm making a ton of money now. It just worked out that way. Okay. So what I'm saying is, Ms. Marie, some people think they're going to half step it because they get in 3 months and 4 months and they're doing really good. By the 4th month, they're getting a $10,000, $15,000 check or even an $8,000 check. And they think, hey, this is cool. I'm on my way. And you know what? They just start kind of half stepping it. Instead of contacting 20 people a day, they're now contacting 8 or 10. And they think, hey, I still got the pipeline going. I'm still doing good. Nobody knows what's going on. And they're just kind of half stepping it. And now they're really kind of goofing off. They're not putting in 8 hours. They're now putting in 5 hours, Well, nobody will know that, and I'm still being productive during those 4 or 5 hours. And Miss Marie, as we talked about, the numbers in network marketing are either going to work for you or against you. And the thing about Richard Call, he made the numbers work with him in a massive way because he took massive action. Okay. And the massive action he took was the correct action. It was very simple, very straightforward, and there was no fluff to it. He was using what? The basics. He wasn't doing anything fancy. Okay. And because he did the basics and because he applied massive action to it, and he was consistent in that massive action, and he was doing it correctly, or he wouldn't have got the results. Well, guess what? He got massive results. It's the simplest equation in the world. God didn't set the world up to where you put in this much activity and get this much in return. The only thing that works like that is a lottery. Okay. It doesn't work that way. Richard Call put in this and he got that and more in return. Okay.
Well, you always get out of anything, the effort that you put in, right? The more effort you put in, the more you're going to get out of it. Nothing comes easy. There's always work involved in anything of value.
That's right.
Absolutely anything. So, and that's where the network marketing industry has gotten a bad rap on occasion, right? We have people out there purporting that, hey, you get involved in this company and it's quick, easy money. It's a get rich quick scheme. And that's where the whole pyramid thing comes from. And it's absolutely maddening to me. Which is why, of course, we advocate for the honesty, the integrity, being ethical in what you're doing with your business, recognizing that it is a business. It requires work.
That's right.
Need to build and work towards your goals that you want in order to be a success. So,
and what the key word you said there is anything that you're going to do is going to require a massive effort. And one of the examples I could talk about, look, just about any other business model that you compare to network marketing, if you're going to look at the success ladder, in other words, you can look back over the last 40 years, 60 years, whatever the case may be in any industry, and you look back over that success ladder, and each ladder is a different length. Okay. Just imagine a ladder laying down on the ground, and call it a success ladder. And each one of those ladders are different. For Rob, it could be 20 feet. For Marie, it could be 10 feet. Okay. Each success ladder is different. And there's too many variables to go into here. But the point is, I don't care what industry you look at. Let's take professional sports or the Olympic sports. We talked about that yesterday. Look at the years of commitment, the years, not months, years of commitment that these professional athletes and these Olympic athletes make just to have a chance to make it to the pro level. Okay, there's a small percentage. Guess what the percentage is? Only 1 or 2%. Oh, surprise, surprise. Only 1 or 2% of the athletes make it to the pro level. Okay, what do we tell you here? Only 1 to 3% of the people out there that are listening to podcasts are going to make it. Okay, guess what? If you go to a football camp in Pee Wee or Pop Warner football, they're going to be doing the same practices that you do at the college level, high school level, and the pro level. What are they doing? Consistent, correct activities. The coaches at the Pop Warner level know what kind of conditioning and what kind of drills they need to teach these kids, not only for that day in Pop Warner, but also to prepare them mentally and physically for the same drills they're going to encounter at the high school level, college level, and ultimately the pro level if they're fortunate enough to make it. So and there's millions of kids that play Pop Warner football in the U.S. every year. So since there's millions of kids that make it to Pop Warner and do these drills, why is it that only 1 or 2% make it to the pros when everybody's doing the same drills, Miss Marie? Because not everybody's created equal.
Has to do with effort and talent and work and the whole thing. And it's really interesting because especially in football, it boils down to the fundamentals, right? And I don't know if you know this, Rob, but the head coach, Vince Lombardi of the Green Bay Packers, after one of their championship seasons, came in the next season, the very first day that he met with the team, he came in and he said, "Gentlemen, this is a football." I mean, he started and he focused on the fundamentals because that's what builds towards the high levels of success, right? And it's the rare person that's willing to put in the time and effort on the fundamentals to get to that high level of success. Everybody wants to play in game day and hear the cheers and the shouts and get the accolades. Yeah. But it's the rare person that's going to put in the work behind the scenes that's required.
And Lady Luck has a little bit to play with that because timing can be everything. Joining the right company, the right team at the right time with your talents and abilities may allow you to be chosen over someone that's more talented. Okay, because that team may have a specific need at that moment that you feel. So timing has a lot to do with it as well. But the point is, what she said is absolutely correct. Same thing with Michael Jordan and Dean Smith. Every year, Michael Jordan said, "Coach, what do I practice on?" He said, "Michael, you're supremely gifted. You need to practice on the basics." And that's what Michael did. He worked every year on what? The basics. And he mastered the basics. And look where his talents took him. Okay, now, and his work ethic, Miss Marie, he worked his tail end off. But the thing is, guys, that's what we're trying to tell you. You can't half step it. You get in 3 months in, you get 4 months in, you get success, and you think you have arrived, that's not setting the right example because you haven't reached your ultimate goal. And you can't half-step it. And we told you many times, when you slow down that momentum, there's no guarantee you're going to get it back. You can't just turn it on and off. Okay? It is hard to do. And you said, well, Rob, you talk about doing 2 mini blasts. That's like turning it on and off. No, it's not. The mini blast number 1 is totally different than mini blast number 2. You have changed as a leader. You have changed as a business builder. The people that you're going to be talking to are going to change. Why? Because your experience and your knowledge of who you're looking for is going to be totally different than it was in phase 1, which is your initial 90-day mini blast. Okay? And that's the reason why the quote-unquote professional business builders can go from day 1 into a new company, do their initial 90-day mini blast, and sponsor a higher quality amount of people. Okay, because they know what they're looking for. They know how to prospect those people. They know how to get them started and create that initial duplication process, which is going to do what? Create that momentum that they need to get their business over to the top, to create the lifestyle income they want, where they don't ever have to take another step in the business building process. Okay, guess what? You haven't arrived there. So the phase 3, which is your second 90-day mini blast with the same company, is different. Totally different. You're doing the same stats, but it's totally different than the initial phase 1 90-day mini blast. So no, it's not the same. Okay. And you got to realize that you're a different person. You're a different leader at that point. You know what to put up with, what not to put up with. You know what's important to address. You know what's not important to address. You know potential cancer causing issues in your business in your phase 3. Versus when you did in phase 1. Phase 1, you didn't even know what the word cancer causing issues are in your business. Okay. You just kind of knew that cancer word was not a good thing. So with that being said, realize, guys, that being that leader and going towards your ultimate goal that you stated you wanted is absolutely critical to having a stable business. Look, you've got to be a leader to your downline. You say, Rob, you're talking about individual leadership qualities and characteristics here. Yes, I am. You know why? Because what you're doing is being duplicated. We said your downline will find out what you are not doing. They're also going to watch what you are doing. Okay? And that is the type of leader they need. And if you want stability and if you want drink out of the coconut water, drink out of the coconut money sitting on the beach, guess what? I even got Miss Murray with that, but I don't know where that came from. Guess what? You have got to set the example. You can't be a nut. You can't run off, naked through the woods. Okay? You can't have wild parties with your downline. You will destroy not only your business, but theirs as well. Everything you do, unfortunately, in this business is magnified and is watched. Even the words you utter in private. You think?
Yeah, I think that coconut water came from that health craze that's going on right now.
I know,
thing, right?
Well, but I like coconut stuff.
Yeah. But one of the things we talk about often, and we're always focusing on, is the CCBBA, right? The consistent and correct business building activity. And as a leader, your focus is on the consistent and the correct. You want to make sure you're doing those correct activities because that's going to duplicate through your downline. They're going to see what you're doing. They're going to follow those same things. And the consistency is key. Over a long period of time, you want to be consistent in those correct activities that you're doing because, again, your downline is watching. You're leading by example, doing it consistently over a long period of time. So they get that aha moment that's like, oh, it's not just a bunch of effort for a few weeks and then I can sit back and I'm good. I need to keep going with these correct business building activities to grow my business to the success level that I want. And we do a whole different episode talking about how to determine your level of success, when to actually let off that gas pedal, and those types of subjects. So we're not going to get into that here. But again, that leadership comes from being consistent and doing the correct activities so they duplicate through your downline.
And that's a really good point. And guys, let me just add on to what she's saying, because she said something that's very important and you might have missed it. Here's the thing. As a leader, you're going to have issues in your downline. That's just the way it is. You're also going to have people contacting you, especially your leaders. And then what's the business about? What's the essence of it? finding and working with leaders. Okay. So here's the thing. If you're not doing it, if you're half stepping it, and then Marie calls and says, Rob, I got some questions. I run into some problems. If you aren't doing what you're supposed to be doing, number one, it's going to come through in that call. Number two, if you are stuttering and because you don't know yourself, because you haven't experienced it, because you haven't been busy doing business building activity, now you're being exposed. You don't know what in the world to tell her. You don't know how to handle this situation. She has a gut feeling that something's not right with you. She can't put her finger on it. Her confidence is starting to wane because of the fact that you did not stand up and be the leader that you need to be. And part of being a leader in a counseling situation like this, and believe me, this is going to happen. Your downline is going to contact you with potential problems or with real problems and existing problems. But here's the other thing. Miss Marie is, in order for you to have a good relationship with her, she has to have confidence in you that you're doing the business and that you're doing it correctly, that you're not cutting corners, you're not half stepping it. And if she picks up on it and her gut tells her that something's not right, her confidence may never come back in you to the level that she has before that call. You do not want that to happen. Okay. You are the fault because you didn't stand up and be the leader that not only you needed to be, but your downline depends on. And that's the point of this whole episode today, is that your downline depends on you to do the right thing, to be there for them when they need you. Okay. And if you think you're going to be able to cut corners and I got it, man, that's cool, you are sadly mistaken. It is going to come back and bite you bigger than you ever going to imagine. And the thing is, it will be exposed, especially when you start working with your leaders. They will pick up on it right away, because Marie's going to walk away saying, well, you know what? I'm doing a whole lot more activity than Rob is. And it's obvious Rob does not, or something's not right. Rob's either not doing this business. He's retired on active duty, if you want to use that term. He's checked out, whatever the term you want to use. And she's going to say, you know what? I like this company too much. I'm never calling Rob again. I'm just going to move on. I know what to do. I have all this reference material. I have access to the MLM solution back office. I can get any information I need. I don't need to call Rob anymore. I'm moving on. And then, you know what? Rob will be stuck at $8,000 a month if that's where I am. I'll not be able to pick up on the rest of her volume in certain comp plans, because guess what? I'm not moving up the pin rank. In the company's eyes, I have not earned the right to get these extra bonuses and maybe these trips, whatever the case may be, and more money from Marie's organization as she skyrockets past me and becomes one of the top leaders in the company. I'm leaving all this money on the table. And whose fault is it? Yours. Well, yours. Because you shortchanged the whole thing. You short-circuited because you tried to cut corners. You are not being the leader that your downline needs, which means that you are hurting yourself more than you're hurting them. Because Marie can move on. She can be that leader. She can say, all right, I'm done with this. It's obvious because she knows the poison. She's learned enough to realize that this could be a poisonous situation. And Marie hangs up the phone and she says, you know what? Something's not right with this conversation. This is totally outside of the 5 simple steps. This is totally outside of what I know works. If I implement what Rob just said, I know that I'm introducing a potential cancer into my business. I'm not willing to risk that. You know what? I'm done. I can't afford to talk to him anymore because I don't know what he's going to say and I don't know what he's going to endorse. And if he's not doing it, that's going to reflect on me, because if I'm still working with him, then I'm endorsing what he says or what he's not doing. Okay, so then my downline is going to pick up on it. Well, Marie is still working with Rob. Obviously, it's okay, or she wouldn't do it. Now she's sabotaging her own business and her downline. Now the cancer starts to spread. You'll never get it back. You cannot get people back on track. Once that happens, Miss Marie, it's over. Because guess what? The money over the next 3 months is going to reinforce the fact that, oh, yeah, I don't have to work that hard. But then in the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th month, all of a sudden, things start falling apart. People start panicking. What happened? And once that leg goes down that, you might as well flush the toilet. It's over. It's over. You cannot work hard enough. There's not enough hours in the day to save that leg. It's over. And that's not exaggerating. Try it sometime. I hope you don't, but try it.
Well, and it's those types of situations you're better off just like turning your attention elsewhere and starting scratch again with phase one, right? You might as well go back to phase one and
right.
start all over at that point. It'll be effort better spent.
Exactly. And the other side of the coin is true too, Miss Marie. If Rob's doing everything right, Marie's not, what does Rob do? I go in there and flush the toilet. Because you know what, Miss Marie, she's too far gone. I can't save her. I can't take my focus off all the other people who are doing the right things and turning around and putting all my focus on Marie, trying to help her save her business. The only thing I can do is tell her, Marie, the only thing I can tell you is to start over. And I don't mean like zero, but she's going to have to let that one leg go. And she's going to have to move on and focus on her other legs. Okay. And what is that? That's duplication. What did I just do? I ignored Marie. Well, you just said you talked to Marie. Yeah, because she contacted me and I told her exactly what I'm doing. Miss Marie, I'm going to have to cut you off because there's too much cancer in there. Well, Rob, what do? I don't want to lose what I put together. Then you need to cut that leg off. And you just got to focus on the ones that are doing the right things. But you got to get back on track, because if you don't, you're going to lose the other ones too. Okay, Rob, that's the only way if she's built a big enough business. Okay, if her business is still small, she might as well flush it down the toilet and start over. Okay. So that's a great example on both sides of the coin there. And because guess what? Telling her to flush it is being a proper leader for the downline. If I don't say anything, that cancer is going to spread throughout her business. And she's totally gone. Okay. I don't want her to, if I know the answer, which I do, I don't want that to happen to her, but I'm going to share, but I can't touch it. I tell her, Marie, I can't work with you until you get that straightened out. You're just going to have to, because she's the one that caused the cancer that spread into one of her legs. The only thing she can do is save her other legs and stop spreading that cancer by what? Getting back on board and doing the 5 simple steps and all the things she knows to do. And it's that simple. So that is being a leader for my downline as well. You got to be a strong leader. Okay. You have to have a spine. You have to stand up in the tough times and tell people, if you're not doing the correct steps, what she said, CCBBA is the best way to put it instead of keep bringing up the 5 simple steps. If you got to do the CCBBA. If you're not, okay, in the CCBBA, guys, when we say that, it's not just the 5 simple steps. That includes the scale of ambition. That includes the threshold of profitability, okay, and the music to the ears message. Even though the music to the ears message is part of the 5 simple steps, why do I single it out? Because you cannot cut corners on that, okay? You can't just half-ass that message and expect to attract the right kind of people. So those 3 things, in combination with the 5 simple steps, the music to the ears message correctly, the threshold of profitability, and the scale of ambition, you've got to use those together. Okay. And if you don't, guess what? You're dead in the water. And those are the only things you have to do, Miss Marie. That's it. I mean, you don't have to get out there on a football field in 100-degree weather working out for 5 hours a day. Okay.
Like I always say, there are much harder ways to earn a living than working this industry correctly and consistently, right?
This is all mental and emotional, because people attach their emotions to the results. And we're going to have an episode on that. Okay. I was writing a document this morning, Miss Marie. I was updating one of our important documents, and believe it or not, it's 4 critical mistakes. But here's the thing. One of the paragraphs in there is talking about emotionally removing yourself from the results you're going to get. And you say, well, why do you want to do that? You want to become, why do we think we say become a focused business building machine? Okay. Why? Because you want to remove your emotions. Look, when I sat down with people, when I first started, my feelings were on my sleeves because I was raw. I like people. I wanted them to be successful more than they wanted to be successful themselves, blah, blah, blah. And so when they said no, that hurt my feelings. But as I got to understand the business, not only of network marketing, but business in general, that no is another step closer to a yes, that's just part of the process. And I understood that. It wasn't anything personal. And then I removed my emotions from that. It's not that I became a machine, although you could use that term. It was that I understood the process. And it's not just, I did the same thing in real estate. There were point times I put bids on properties and I lost out. And I really liked the property. I saw real potential. Did I cry and go over in a corner and suck my thumb? No. I said, okay, that sucks. Okay. But I didn't pout. I moved on to another property. And more times than not, Miss Marie, because I moved on, guess what? I found a better deal. And it's no joke. So it's no different here. Okay. If somebody tells you no, say, okay, that's cool. I only get 1 or 2 answers here, yes or no. and knows just as good as a yes. Okay. So guess what? Instead of pouting about it, when I first started, I celebrated the no's because I understood the process. I got it. And I did become a machine. And what I'm saying by that is that it's not that I didn't have emotions, it's that I understood where the emotions played and where they weren't supposed to play. Okay. And I didn't ride that emotional roller coaster. And I didn't get myself attached to one individual. Oh, I'd really like to work with that person. Or man, those people are sharp or whatever. I didn't do that because they can fool you. It could be fool's gold. I learned that lesson hard too. A person is a person is a person, meaning that I talk from one person to the other person. They determine where they are on the success ladder. I don't. My job is to do what? CCBBA. That's what my job was. And I just became very good at it like a machine, just like a die pumps out metal parts. It just keeps going the same part over and over and over. Well, that's what I did. Okay. That is setting an example as a leader, the CCBBA. She nailed it. That's the term that you have to learn to memorize and utilize until you reach your ultimate goal.
Well, and I think that really summarizes what we're talking about here today, right? We want to lead with integrity. We want to lead by example. We want to use the consistent and correct business building activities, duplicate that through our downline, and be that leader that our downline needs.
Yep. Yeah, it's real simple as we close. CCBBA. I mean, that's all I can say, guys. That's exactly it. And if you do that to the end, and then as we close, Miss Marie, I want to say that you say, Rob, why is it important that you state your ultimate goal? Not only to hold yourself accountable, but also broadcast it to your downline, and they will hold you accountable to that as well. But here's the thing. It motivates you to do what? The right thing, the CCBBA, because you know the consequences if you don't. Okay? If you stop short because of a Richard Cole incident, in other words, unfortunately, something comes into your life, and it doesn't have to be an illness. I'm just saying that something important comes into your life, your downline is going to understand that. You just be open about it. You be human about it and say, guys, here was my ultimate goal. But guess what? I've had, whether you choose to share it with them or not is another matter. But you say, I've had something, a really important event in my life, which is certainly going to take all of my attention. I have to stop business building at this point, but I'm very happy where I ended up. It's not my ultimate goal. And I encourage all of you to continue to go towards that ultimate goal, because you never know when something like this may happen to you. So shoot for the moon. And we tell you guys that all the time, because you never know what's going to happen. Here's the thing. Your downline is going to understand that. And that is proper leadership too, Miss Marie. And you owe it to your downline to communicate. That's the key, communication to your downline. Why? Because you're empowering them, and they're going to take solace with what you shared with them. And they're going to say, man, that was a really strong message. And I get that. And I really respect the fact that Rob had to step away, but he was this close to his ultimate goal. Why did they know that I was that close? Because I verbalized it to them. And they can look at my lifestyle and they can say, yes, he's that close. He was almost there, but he did the right thing. He needed to stop. Okay. And they get that. And what did I do? I empowered them because I shared, I communicated with them, and I shared. And that's what a leader does. Okay. So I just wanted, there's so many examples that we could give of how a leader sets that example for others to follow. And guys, I'm telling you, when you are that leader, it makes your business that solid. I kid you not. It makes it that stable. There's no guarantee that people aren't going to leave. That's just part of it. But if you build it big enough, look at your calls, and we're going to close this out. Look at his. He did that in the 80s. It's still pumping out millions of dollars. Okay. The thing is, why is it doing that? All you got to do is look at Nu Skin. Nu Skin exists because of Richard Cole. He almost put on a business on his own. The stories are out there. You can read that. Okay. His activity almost put Nu Skin out of business. He was that prolific. Okay. If Nu Skin's in business, Richard Cole's business is still in business. Okay. That's the essence of that story. Okay. So his family is still benefiting from that amazing 3 to 6 month burst to this day. Okay. So you guys, that is what the kind of impact you can have on other people. And why do you say that, Rob? Because look at all the people that Richard Collin impacted to this day that are still alive. He may be as well. I don't know. But Miss Marie, look at all the people he's impacted in a positive way that are still living off of that to this day. If that's not a true testament to what the business can
the
do.
residual aspect of this business too, right?
Yeah.
It's not just the financial, but it's the legacy you set for the
Yeah.
people as well. So
Exactly.
it's exciting.
Right. And look what he did for his downline. I mean, think about it. Look at the life those people are living because of him. He sponsored them. He set the example, and he wouldn't put up with their crap. When they called and complained, he told them to say, pull up your pants and get to work. I mean, that was his answer. You could read the stories. I've got the stories. But that's not neither here nor there. Now, that might be a little crude, but here's the thing. It worked. His people to this day live a wonderful life and have since the 80s because of him, because he set the example. And I think that's the best way to close, Miss Marie.
All right, very good. Well, as always, if you appreciate the comments we're making, you understand the points that we're putting forth here, be sure to give us a thumbs up. Let us know. We like to hear back from you. And of course, all our social media platforms, if you will like, comment, and share. Absolutely, you want to spread this to your downline, but also our fellow network marketers throughout the world so they can take advantage of this information that you're not going to find anywhere else. And also be sure, there we go.
That was a tough word.
Today, Rob, I'm starting to lose my words, man.
That was a
Be
tough
sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and register for notifications there. Click on that bell. We'll let you know when we're going live, or you'll at least get that notification so you know there's some new material there for you to review. And of course, you can find us on all the social media platforms by searching hashtag the MLM Solution. That's hashtag the MLM Solution. And then the last thing I want to encourage you all to do is to visit our website, themlmsolution.net. There is a tremendous amount of information there. Rob's been working hard on that website. We've got some things coming up real soon. So be sure to check it out if you haven't been on there recently. And then finally, we have a survey feedback form. You can give us any feedback you'd like in terms of the concepts that we're relaying to you. If you have any requests for topics you'd like to hear about or hear more about, the place to do that is on our website, themlmsolution.net/survey. That's themlmsolution.net/survey. Simple form, take you less than 2 minutes to fill out.
That's correct. All right. All right, guys, another great episode. Once again, you learn things that I'm sure you're not going to learn anyplace else. This was a very important, I think all of you that listen to it understand the importance of the subject matter today and the information that we shared with you guys. Setting the example from the top is absolutely essential in any business, Miss Marie, any business. A business can fall apart from the top down. It rarely falls apart from the bottom up. So the bottom line is that you need to realize the role that you play, the importance of it, and why you need to set that example and be there for your downline. And the way you can be there for the most part is CCBBA. All right, guys, we'll see you tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, as always. And if you will, please invite our fellow network marketers to our podcast and our various social media platforms. And thank all of you for your visitations. I've been very impressed, as always. You guys take care. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow, 11 a.m. Bye, everybody.
Thank you for listening to the MLM Solution Podcast. For more info, visit our website, themlmsolution.net. Please follow us on the following platforms: Facebook, YouTube, etc. And share this podcast with our fellow network marketers around the world by hitting the share button on our various platforms.